Hello everyone, got 4 dirty jokes for you today. So a huge muscular man with a tiny head walks into a bar and orders a beer. The bartender hands him the beer and says, "You know, I want to compliment you on your physique. It is really phenomenal. I have a question though, why is your head so small?" The big guy nods slowly. He's obviously answered this question many times. "One day," he begins, "I was hunting when I got lost in the woods. I heard someone crying for help and finally realized that it was coming from a frog sitting next to the stream. So I picked up the frog and it said, 'Kiss me. Kiss me, and I will turn into a genie and grant you 3 wishes.' So I looked around to make sure I was alone and gave the frog a kiss. Poof! The frog turned into a beautiful, voluptuous, naked woman. She said, 'You now have 3 wishes.' I looked at my scrawny 60 kg body and said, 'I want a body like Arnold Schwarzenegger.' She nodded, whispered a spell, and poof. There I was, so huge that I ripped out of my clothes and was standing there naked. She asked, 'What will be your second wish?' I looked hungrily at her beautiful body and replied, 'I want to make sensuous love with you here by this stream.' She nodded, laid down, and beckoned me. We then made love for hours. Later, as we lay there next to each other, sweating from our glorious lovemaking, she whispered into my ear, 'You know, you do have one more wish. What will it be?' I looked at her and replied, 'How about a little head?' So after a tourist attends a bullfight in Spain, he goes to a nearby restaurant and orders the specialty of the day. The waiter brings him 2 large round meaty objects on a huge plate. "What's this?" the man asks. "The matador special, senior," the waiter replies. "What meat is it?" the man asks. "Cojones," the waiter explains. "They are the testicles of the bull who lost at the arena this afternoon." At first the man is disgusted. But he is the adventurous sort, so he decides to give it a try. To his surprise, he finds the meat delicious. In fact, it is so good that the next day he goes to the same restaurant again, and once again orders the specialty of the day. Again he is brought 2 very big balls on a huge plate, and this time it tastes even more scrumptious. The 3rd day he does the same, and the 4th. But on the 5th day he goes to the restaurant and orders the specialty of the day, but this time they bring him 2 much smaller round meaty objects. "What's this?" he asks the waiter. "The matador special, senior," the waiter replies. No, the man objects. "I had the matador special the last few days, and it was much bigger than this." "Senior," the waiter explains, "the bull does not always lose." So a woman's garden is growing beautifully, but the tomatoes won't ripen. She goes to her neighbor and says, "Your tomatoes are ripe, mine are green. What can I do about it?" The man replies, "Well, it may sound absurd, but here's what to do. Tonight there's no moon. After dark, go out into your garden and take all your clothes off. Tomatoes can see in the dark, and they'll be embarrassed and blush. In the morning they'll all be red, you'll see." She says to herself, "Well, what the heck, it can't hurt to try it." Next day her neighbor asks how it worked. So, she answers. "The tomatoes are still green, but the cucumbers are all 4 inches longer." So a rabbi is planning on retiring from his main occupation, which is giving circumcisions. Over the years, he's saved up all the foreskins from all the circumcisions he's taken part in. He looks at them and decides to take them to the local leather worker to see if something can be made of them. The rabbi explains that he'd like to have a retirement gift made out of the foreskins, and the leatherworker agrees and tells the rabbi to come back in a couple weeks. A couple weeks later, the rabbi comes back and the leatherworker hands him a wallet. "All those foreskins and you only made me a wallet," the rabbi exclaims. The leatherworker replies, "Don't fret. If you rub it a bit, it becomes a suitcase."